BTD6 monkeys are expert at popping endless streams of balloons, but what if they went up against a completely different enemy? Well, today we'll be playing as BTD6 monkeys defending a village from countless waves of Call of Duty zombies. And if that wasn't enough, we'll be playing on Impoppable, which makes the game much harder. We bought our darts for $500 and instantly went to the window on the right. There are only 2 spawns in the starting area, but Impoppable makes the zombies sprinters from round 1, so we're happy this is the case. And this is the faster window because on the other side, zombies have to climb over the truck to get in. We managed to keep all of them from entering the map on this side, but as we turned around, the zombies from the truck were in our face. I threw our darts as fast as we could, popping them right before they hit us, and we got an insta-kill for the start of next round. Now, we were too poor for the door, upgrading our darts, or even self-revive, so we went back to defending our window. The start of this was easy as insta-kill let us one-shot the zombies, but I was afraid it'd wear off before the end of the round. To try to pop as many as we could before insta-kill wore off, I started throwing grenades at the other entrance. This helped a bit, but insta-kill lasted long enough for us to pop most of them with only a few darts. We were going into round 3 with $1,970, so we bought self-revive and debated upgrading our darts. The problem is that if we upgrade our darts, we won't have enough money to open the door, but if we don't upgrade them, we'll run out of ammo quickly and be overrun. Before I could come to a decision, the round started, so I just ran to the window. Almost instantly, the zombies started pouring through, forcing us back right away. We ran to the door and unlocked it to give us some room to train the zombies. While doing this, I fired away at them until we had no darts left. I thought I was going to have to start throwing grenades to try to beat the round, but then I saw something amazing. A max ammo drop from one of the zombies we popped. The only thing was that it was on the other side of all these zombies. So I did my best at an impromptu circle run, gathering all of them up, and sprinted to the max ammo. And a little surprise was we got a double points as well. With all of them grouped up, we just shot down the line at head level, picking up tons of headshots, money, and another max ammo. I saved a zombie for the end of the round and thought about what we should do next. The problem with staying in this room is that although it looks like a great circle running spot, there are way too many spawns in the middle and all over the sides that it's super easy to get stuck on zombies out of nowhere. Plus, in Impoppable, they all seem to spawn at once, which makes the start of the train very difficult. With this in mind, we opened the gates to the main part of the village, went past Juggernaut, and unlocked the sniper tower. Now, it's super risky to go on without Jug for a bit, but with the tower open, we have access to the Mortar monkey that lets you shoot across the map in the blink of an eye, and we'll be using this to start our trains. With the Mortar set up, we ended the round, went back to our favorite window, and waited for the round to start. I thought we could hold them off at least for a little bit, but it only took one zombie to force us to use the Mortar. Now, my plan was to wait in the first room until most of the zombies spawn, then fly over here and pop them as they come up in a single file line, but I wasn't sure how well that'd work if we mortared so early. We quickly found out as the second we landed, 3 zombies spawned up here and we flew right back to the starting area, landing on an insta-kill. I swear these drop more often on this map, but I might just be crazy. Anyway, after one more flight, we got what we wanted. All of the zombies were heading to the sniper tower in a nice single file line. With this, we took a few of them out, picked up a nuke to end the round, and made our way over to Juggernaut, greatly increasing our health. And the best part is that all the perks are bananas in this game. What a wonderful touch. But then I went back to mortaring around the map. If there was one thing I'd change, it would be adding a cooldown on these guys to make the start of the rounds harder. When I played on normal, I barely used the mortars, but here I couldn't get enough of them. Anyway, once we had all our zombies neatly lined up, we fired the rest of our darts at them. Don't be alarmed though, because we made our way back to the start and upgraded our dart monkey to a quick shots. This lets us throw faster, as well as giving us 120 more darts to work with. But because we had the money, I also trotted on over to the Boomerang station and picked up that monkey as well. So our 2 weapons so far are darts and boomerangs. The latter are really fun to throw because after a little bit, they come back and can re-hit zombies, making them pretty solid at taking out large groups of them. For all of round 6, we played with the Boomerang, mowing down lines of zombies with our weapons that come back to us. But at the end of the round, we unlocked the other side of the map, Tree Stump. This section has the other mortar, as well as 2 other things we'll talk about later. I planned on setting up here for a bit, but we ran out of boomerangs in the middle of a horde, so I panic flew back to the spawn and upgraded them to faster ranks. This cost $1,000, but just like quick shots, it restocked our ammo and lets us throw them more often. With this, we quickly put an end to the round and got an insta-kill and double points for round 7. Not bad. This did make us start in the middle of the map though, pretty far away from any of the mortars. So we pulled out our trusty darts and started firing away at any zombies that even looked at us. Even with this, we took a beating, but eventually we made our way to Tree Stump's mortar and started our train once again. From here, we made a few crawlers and started exploring the map. We assembled the tack shooter trap that might bail us out in the future. We bought stamina from Tree Stump and mule kick from the sniper's post. Then we picked up the bomb shooter as our 3rd weapon and upgraded it to longer range. This gives us 3 tier 2 weapons at our disposal and we're heading into round 8. Unfortunately, the bomb shooter didn't one-shot the zombies, and I didn't want to accidentally make crawlers with it, as that's probably my most common way to die, so we just put it in the backpack for now and went back to our trusty boomerangs. We did our normal mortar start, but after we flew back to the spawn, we mixed it up a bit. I met the zombies by the big gate and turned their long, single-file line into one big clump by running them back and forth. This way, we can get more out of each boomerang, as we only have 55 of them left, and because of this clumping, we cleared the round with 10 rangs left over. Now, we have a lot of money but not much ammo, so I upgraded our faster rangs to a bionic boomer. Now, it deals more damage and we can hold down our mouse button instead of having to click every time we want to throw one. Then we walked over to the dart monkey sign and upgraded to a Apopalypse. This lets us launch spike balls at the zombies instead of little darts. Oh, and did I mention that they bounce off walls just like in BTD6? We're going to have some fun with this. We fired at the long train of zombies from the top of Tree's stump. Not an ideal spot for us to be shooting at them, but it was fun watching the ball hit a few zombies, bounce off the ground, and hit a few more before flying off into space. But we all knew he'd do better in the spawn area, so we flew back there, grouped up the zombies a bit more, and fired away. The initial shots would take out quite a few, and the balls would continue to bounce around for a little bit, helping pop some random zombies from time to time. This let us start round 10 with an insta-kill, and we took advantage of this by whipping out our bomb shooter, the weapon we haven't been using because of crawlers. This was a very fun way to start the round, but once it got unsafe, we flew over to Tree's stump. Determined to get more use out of it though, I sprinted at the horde of zombies and fired at them for the last few seconds of insta-kill. This was fun and a little dumb, but we easily made it away and popped most of the zombies with our bionic boomer. This let us go back to the spawn and buy the Dart Monkey's tier 4 upgrade, Juggernaut. Now, we get to launch spiked balls the size of zombies at our enemy, and they stick around quite a bit longer than the Apopalypse did, making the bouncing effect much more effective. This thing was one-shotting anything it touched. Obviously, we jumped on over to Tree Stump and watched the train of zombies head our way. I picked off the first couple with the bionic boomer, but once a solid group was at the base of the stairs, we unleashed the Juggernaut. Each ball took out tens of zombies and ended that train pretty quick. But after picking up a nuke, we shot the Super Monkey statue, making it fall to the ground and giving us the option to buy the Super Monkey as one of our 3 weapons. I passed for now because of how expensive it is, and we went back to business as usual, popping most of the round over by Tree Stump and enjoying the one-shotting madness of the Juggernaut. At the end of the round, we trotted over to the bomb shooter sign and upgraded it to a cluster bombs. This makes each shot split into several smaller bombs, and the best part is that they don't hurt you, so I could shoot straight down if I wanted. To start round 13, I tested to see if they'd one-shot the zombies. As long as we made good contact with them, they did, so we had some fun in the spawn area, launching bombs left, right, and center. After almost getting overwhelmed though, we mortared around and popped the rest with our boomerangs and spiked balls. But this gave us almost exactly enough money for the Recursive cluster, our second tier 4 monkey of the day. If you thought cluster bombs had a lot of explosions, you need to check this thing out. It sounds and looks amazing, so I abandoned our usual strat and beat rounds 14 and 15 by running around with this thing Rambo style. And in the process, we managed to pick up our boomer's 4th tier turbocharge. But the best part about the bomb shooter is easily its melee animation, where you just bonk zombies on the head with the butt of the cannon. But this brings us to round 17, where we started the Easter egg. We went over to the sniper's post Paragon totem and sacrificed our recursive cluster. As much as I like this thing, we need to put a tier 4 weapon in each totem to move on, and I figured the Juggernaut would one-shot the zombies longer and the Boomerang was better at making us money, so we sacrificed this one first. I wasn't sad about this though, because when defending this post, we fired the turbocharge for the first time and I was blown away with how fast it shot. Plus, it was super easy to get headshots with, getting us even more money that we'll need soon. To replace the bomb shooter though, we picked up the first 3 tiers of the ninja monkey, giving us a double shot ninja to work with. This guy is a bit tough to aim with the bloom, but similar to the boomerang, it's an absolute money maker. Because of this, we used it for the rest of the round, as it'll give us money for the Bloons Jitsu, and we'll get all of its ammo back by upgrading it. We got this tier 4 at the start of round 19 and sacrificed the bionic boomer to the Paragon totem behind the stump. Then, at the start of round 20, we gave our Juggernaut to the totem in the spawn area. Round 19 gave me the confidence that we could pop everything with the Bloons Jitsu and make a ton of money in the process. But with this sacrifice, we started stage 2 of the Easter egg, which is pop a ton of zombies by each of the 3 totems. We got a few in the spawn, then flew over to the sniper's post to pick up the sniper monkey and start this one. This was probably the easiest totem to fill up, as any pop up here counts towards the totem. But you can't stay up here long because there are so many spawns in the middle of the floor, making it dangerous. Over the next couple rounds, we went back and forth between the post and the spawn, popping as many zombies as we could close to the totems. I had a couple close calls, but near the end of round 21, we upgraded our sniper to a tier 4 full auto rifle. This thing shoots absurdly fast and deals massive damage, especially when you can just aim at their heads and fire down a straight line like we were here. But with these final few pops, we filled up our first totem and it linked up with the Sun Temple. 1 down, 2 to go. Over the next couple rounds, we worked on getting pops near the other 2 totems. We finished the spawn area at the end around 23, and once we popped the final few zombies with a nuke, we headed over to the Super Monkey and went all the way to its tier 3 upgrade, Plasma Blasts. We instantly fired away with this thing as we had to play with our new toy, but it was a bit odd. It didn't have the pierce that our other weapons had, but it did shoot crazy fast and deal massive damage, so I couldn't be too disappointed with it. Between this and the Bloons Jitsu, we filled the final totem. This one was easily the hardest to fill as it was quite dangerous how deep we had to go in this area before the pops would count towards the totem, and we'd normally have to fight our way back to the mortar to get out of here, so thank goodness this one is over. We kept a few zombies alive at the end of the round and made our way up to the Sun Temple. These Paragon totems disabled the lasers that were keeping us from climbing the stairs, so now we can make our way up there. At the top, we were given the Apex Plasma Master as a backup weapon and bought Widow's Wine, the final perk of the map. But another benefit that comes with the Sun Temple is that we get our sacrificed weapons back. So we traded in our sniper for our faithful Juggernaut, and it was still able to one-shot the zombies. From here, we ran around with either our Juggernaut or Apex Plasma Master out. Now, this Paragon is a special weapon, meaning it charges up as we pop zombies, and once it's full, we can pull it out whenever we want. This is nice because you get back up to 12 shots every time you fully charge it, but the bad part is that you can't pull it out early, even if it's 99% charged. So we really need to save it for when we're in trouble. After a bit of playing with our dart monkeys, we went over to the Super Monkey statue and bought the Sun Avatar upgrade. This thing costs a whopping $18,000, but lets us shoot 5 sunbeams at a time, melting the zombies. Just a single shot would blow the zombies away, and it made me feel like Homelander, but the one downside was that it was hard to see while shooting. Not a deal breaker, as giving up my sight was easily worth the power this thing provides. But this brings us near the end of round 28, and I had one goal: make it to round 40, as it's the last round of easy mode in BTD6. And although we could easily get there doing our mortar method, I wanted more of a classic zombies experience. So I went to the top of Sun Temple and shot down at the zombies. I wasn't sure if there'd be any spawns up here, making it incredibly unsafe, but I figured we could just pull out our Apex Plasma Master and run away if that was the case. Luckily, it seemed like things would only spawn down bottom and would all head up the stairs. While we can all agree that circle running is safer and more ammo efficient, I must say this was way more fun. It gave me catwalk vibes of Darice or Juggernaut on Kino, both of which are S-tier moments in gaming history for me. But from here, the plan was simple: hold down the stairs with the Sun Avatar, as it could safely keep all the zombies from reaching the top, and anytime there was a perk or two, we'd pull out the APM, make a safe opening, and hop down the stairs to pick them up. On round 30, I did try holding the stairs with the normal Juggernaut, but it wasn't one-shotting anymore, making it much harder to hold the line. So we quickly gave up on that plan and went back to shooting sunbeams down upon the dead. There were only 2 hard parts about this. The first was the lack of visibility. I couldn't really tell how close the zombies were when I was shooting, I just had to go off sound and what the flames looked like. And the second was that shooting in this game makes you move ever so slightly backwards. This normally isn't noticeable, but because the Sun Avatar has such a high attack speed, we moved back pretty quick. So I had to keep scooting forward while firing, otherwise I'd start shooting the stairs instead of the zombies. This wasn't really an issue, but combining that with not being able to see well made me scared of moving too far forward and accidentally bouncing down the stairs into the zombies. I found out later that this bouncing only happens when you run or sprint down the stairs and not when you're just slowly nudging forward, so I was kinda scared of nothing. But this brings us to round 30, where we got an insta-kill, giving us the freedom to defend the temple with our other weapons while it's active. This time around I went with the Juggernaut, but in the future we'll be using Bloons Jitsu, as its 5 shurikens plus a faster attack speed are super nice when everything one-shots. But for the next 9 rounds, that is what we did. Hold the line with the Sun Avatar, pick up perks with the APM, and throw shurikens when we have an insta-kill. I will say though, by the end of the 30s, the zombies were getting pretty tanky, to where we had to almost constantly be shooting our sunbeams to keep them from reaching the top. This was pretty taxing on our ammo and a bit scary in general, but knowing we only had to make it through round 40 was giving me hope. If we had to go any farther, I would have gone back to circle running just to play it safe, but that's not the case, so we're staying up here. At the start of round 40, I went down to the base of the temple and activated the tack shooter. This is a trap that costs $1,000 to activate, and it shoots tacks in all directions. They don't hurt you, but they demolish zombies. While we didn't need to do this at all, I thought it'd be fun, and we had over 130k in the bank, so I figured we could spare $1,000 to use the only trap on the map. But then we went back to the stairs and basically fired away for the entire round, going through hundreds of Sun Avatar ammo. Thank goodness we don't have to reload this guy, because the zombies were making it most of the way up as is, to the point where I whipped out the APM just to catch back up and make the stairs safe again. Basically the first time we used it for self-defense instead of just picking up perks. But with this we were able to set back up and make it to the end of the round, where we popped the last guy with the tac shooter. Then we walked on over to the Homeland Defense and called for help. This guy was frozen at the start of the game, but we busted it open when an Apex plasma ball hit it. Calling for help ends the game and makes the Goliath Doomship fly over the map and drop a bomb to wipe everything out. But just like that, we beat BTD6 zombies on impossible difficulty by beating round 40.